Welcome to African Tales and Stories by Ofedo, where timeless stories meet today's world. Here we celebrate the wisdom, culture, and traditions of African storytelling. Each tale holds a lesson, a bit of history, and a connection to our roots. Sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's story. What does it mean when a stranger walks into your life with a smile so pure it blinds your thoughts? Can the promise of healing and miracles truly be worth the same? And when something feels too good to be true, is it worth questioning? The day Pastor Emmanuel Okoro arrived in Agbada, I remember it like it was yesterday. Burnt orange sky, the chatter of women washing clothes by the stream, the children laughing under the shade of the mango trees. But there was something about that moment that felt off. I could see it in their eyes before they even said a word. The way they stopped mid-laugh, mid-conversation, to stare at the tall figure walking down the dusty path. I wasn't one to be swayed easily, but there was an air around him that was almost magnetic. Pastor Emmanuel's white robe shimmered under the midday sun as if it were untouched by the dust and heat. And his eyes, how could I describe them? They were kind, but there was something else beneath that kindness. I couldn't place it, and that bothered me more than anything. The men in the village whispered excitedly, "He's a man of God. He can heal the sick, raise the dead." The older women nodded in agreement, their faces both hopeful and skeptical. But none of them could see what I saw. The shadow that trailed behind him, barely visible to the human eye but undeniable to me. It was as though something darker was riding his coat's tails. Something that had no place in our village. The change was sudden. It was as though a storm had swept through our village and left only blessings behind. I watched the way people flocked to the church, their faith growing stronger with every passing day. And for the first time in years, I saw people smiling, laughing, living again. People who hadn't walked in years suddenly could. It was miraculous, too miraculous, I thought. One woman, Ngozi, bless her soul, had been bedridden for as long as I could remember. Her condition was known to everyone. It was the talk of the village whenever her name was mentioned. She couldn't walk, couldn't even stand without help. But one day, she was standing in front of the pulpit, holding out her hands as Pastor Emmanuel approached her. I felt a sudden cold chill race down my spine. He laid his hand on her forehead, closed his eyes, and whispered words I could not hear. But something about the way he spoke, it didn't sit right with me. The air shifted. Time seemed to slow down. And then, to my utter shock, Ngozi stood, not shakily, not with assistance. She stood tall, her feet firm against the ground as if she had never been sick. The crowd erupted into wild applause. But my heart told me something was wrong. This wasn't just healing. This was something else. What was he really doing to them? Why did no one else feel the unease I felt? I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly amiss. As Pastor Emmanuel's fame grew, so did the unease in my chest. There were no more whispers of doubt, only admiration. And I watched, helpless, as the people I had known all my life became obsessed with him. They followed him everywhere, believed every word that left his mouth, and with each passing day, I saw the shadow that followed him grow larger. It wasn't until one evening, long after the church had emptied, that I saw it for myself. The demon. It wasn't hiding anymore. It was standing next to him in the pulpit, its eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Its form was nearly transparent, but there was no mistaking it for anything else. I felt my blood run cold. He had made a pact, a terrible pact. The power he wielded wasn't a gift from God. It was stolen, and now it would consume us all. The night was thick with dread as I watched the villagers gather for another of Pastor Emmanuel's miracle services. But I couldn't stay silent any longer. I had to warn them. I had to show them what was truly happening. I stormed into the church as the pastor called for a volunteer. The demon was standing beside him, its grin wide and hungry. I stood at the back of the room, my hands trembling, and finally I opened my mouth. "Do you not see it?" I shouted. "Do you not see the darkness following him? He's not a man of God. He is a demon." The room fell silent. Pastor Emmanuel turned toward me, his serene smile now twisted with something darker. The demon's eyes flicked to mine, and in that moment, I knew it had been waiting for me. "You've always been too perceptive, Kemi," Pastor Emmanuel said, his voice low and chilling. "But now, it's too late." And then, the ground beneath us cracked open. The church doors slammed shut with a force that knocked everyone to the ground. The air was thick with a heavy oppressive presence. The villagers screamed in terror as the demon's form fully materialized, taking shape, towering above us all. I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. I turned back, only to find Pastor Emmanuel standing before me, his white robe now stained with an unnatural darkness. "I gave them hope," he whispered, his voice laced with regret, "and in return, they gave me their souls." The truth was clear now. The miracles, the healings, they were nothing more than a trap. A way for the demon to collect the souls of the villagers. And I was the only one who saw it. But now, it was too late. The last thing I heard before everything went dark was the chilling sound of Pastor Emmanuel's voice. "This is only the beginning." Legends say that those who subscribe and ring the sacred bell are forever blessed with the wisdom of the ancient spirits. Don't let the stories fade into the shadows. Hit that sacred notification bell and stay connected to the mysteries of the unseen.